Daniel Gilbert is an American social psychologist and writer. He's the professor of psychology at Harvard University and is also the author of the international bestseller Stumbling on Happiness. And this is a book that's been translated into 30 different languages, and it's one of the most impactful books that I read last year. So yes, of course I'm going to recommend it to you. I've already added the link to my description. It'll take you to an Amazon page where you can order this book for yourself. Here's why it's a powerful book in my opinion. It doesn't talk about a voodoo topic such as the how of happiness. There's no clickbait here. There's no, here are 10 ways you can be happier. None of that. Instead, he talks scientifically about how we're such bad predictors of our own happiness. So if I were to explain this book to you in just 2 lines, it's this. Our brains are riddled with mental errors and biases, which render our predictions of the future and memories of the past highly unreliable. And because of these mental errors and biases, we're the worst predictors of our own happiness. Secondly, I want to share my 8 biggest takeaways from this book that I can remember at any instant. These are 8 takeaways that helped me look at my own errors in a different light altogether, gave me a different perspective, and I'm hoping they can do the same for you. The first topic in this book is control. If you don't have the opportunity to predict your future, apparently it's scarier than predicting a bad future for yourself. As humans, we love enacting control over our immediate surroundings and life. And this sort of control in our lives can be a source of pleasure and happiness. That's why there are schools of thought that say, begin your day by making your own bed or end your day by journaling your thoughts. It's because it works. Small things like these can make you feel or create an illusion that you have control over your life. And that in itself can be a source of happiness. The second topic covered in this book is about money. Oh, money is a big one. Money is a big one for all of us. At any given point, all of us are trying to 2x, 3x or quadruple our salaries, paychecks, or top line, bottom line, all of those numbers for ourselves so that our overall take home is more. But in this book, Daniel Gilbert says that wealth will make you really happy when you go from, say, poverty to the middle class, but not much more beyond that. He even gives an example. Somebody making $5 million a year is just about as happy as somebody making $100,000 a year. So if I were to convert these into rupee terms using the PPP index, if I were to equate dollar terms in terms of rupees, here's what it looks like. Somebody making 20 to 30 lakhs per annum has more or less the same levels of happiness as somebody making 1.5 crore rupees a year. And the reason is simple. It's because you go to the same 5-star hotels, you go to the same vacations, you have access to the same things. Maybe not the same frequency, but all of the things, the choicest things you'd like to experience in life, they're available to both people. The third topic is noise, the noise around you. Now, you might have heard people say to you that this fellow thinks he's happy only because he doesn't know what he's missing out on. Well, that's precisely the point. Not knowing what you're missing out on is the very thing that allows you to be happy, is the very thing that allows you to be blissfully unaware of all the other different alternate lives you could be leading. By choosing one opportunity, you're constantly missing out on 10 other opportunities. So yes, not knowing what you're missing out on isn't such a bad thing. The fourth topic is memory. Now, it's worth noting that your most likely memory is your least likely experience. We remember the breakups that hurt. We remember the time somebody betrayed us or the first time you partied. You remember all of these different memories, but they're the least likely of experiences. We remember the best of times and the worst of times, but not the most likely of times. We create this sort of mental highlight reel for ourselves of everything that we've been through. And the highlight reel, not representative of everything that we've lived. Hang on for a second. If you've come this far in the video and you're finding value in it, do consider subscribing to my channel and hitting like on this video because it's free for you, but it really helps me out. It drives more traffic to my channel and that does wonderful things for me. Now, back to the video. Point number 5 is silver lining. You look for and find a positive view of things that you feel like you're stuck with for the near-term future. It's only when you can't change your current experience that you try to justify it for yourself by saying, this is not such a bad thing after all. When you can't change your experience, you look for ways to change your perception of that experience. Now, typical examples of these could be moving abroad, buying a new house, getting married. These are all things that you're sort of stuck with for the near-term future. Once you've made that decision is when you try and justify that for yourself and you try and change your perception of this experience so that it becomes more pleasant to live with, so that you can live with yourself. The next topic is uniqueness. The average person, all of us, the average person does not see themselves as average in any way. For example, 90% of drivers feel that they're more safe in their driving than the average driver. There's also a catch. People don't see themselves as superior either. We just want to retain a sense of uniqueness. We want to feel different. Feeling different gives us a sense of joy and happiness. When you're put in an environment where you feel like you're a run-of-the-mill fellow, it could be university, it could be a job, it could be a group of friends where you feel like you're just somebody. You don't feel unique at all. Those environments don't tend to be happy ones. You seek out environments where you feel unique. Uniqueness makes you happy. Children. The next topic is children. I've met so many people who say that having children was the most joyous experience of their life. But Daniel Gilbert presents an interesting new statistic. There's no evidence to prove that having kids makes you happy. There's no survey, there's no research done out there that says having kids makes you more happy than somebody who does not have children. In fact, he calls this a super replicator phenomena, which means the people who have kids pass on the belief that having kids is a joyous experience to their kids. Then they pass it on to their next generation. And people who don't believe that having kids is the right thing to do, that belief ends with their life. They're not able to pass it on to somebody else. So this view sort of gets perpetuated over and over again because it's a super replicator. My last takeaway, my last topic that I want to cover in this video is about depression. When we think of the future, we find hope and optimism in knowing that there could be good things, happy things that could happen in the future. We feel like there's a potential for positive experiences in the future. And one of the hallmarks of depression is that when depressed people think about their future, they can't imagine liking it very much. And this distinction sort of made me stop and think about what depression really is. It really gives you a different perspective to look at friends and family with empathy. These were my 8 big takeaways from the book, and in line with stumbling on happiness and finding things that can make you happy. Another source of happiness for a lot of people is being confident in every environment, in every scenario. And I know that some people find this difficult. I want to recommend to you one of my videos about how I became confident, and I am going to link it at the end of this video, so be sure to check it out.